welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for being here, Jeff, and thanks for being here with us, viewers. Tonight we're going to do tarot pairs, and basically what it is a news story, and we're just going to pick a card, and I'm going to pick a card, and we're going to read all the four permutations: upright, 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 reverse, reversed, upright, and reverse, reverse. Hi, Teresa. How you doing? So, Jeff, how you been?
I've been pretty good, except for a little blip the other day where I kind of fell into. I'm starting to think I might be bipolar because the highs are really great lately, but the lows, once I descend, it's awful. So, but I kicked Hershey kicked me out of it.
Good.
I have to say. So she hadn't last night. She knew I was teetering. I think she could feel it. So, but other than that, I've been insane.
Yeah, and this was the time about 10 years ago, time of year near Father's Day. I had a manic episode from Thursday morning. I woke up and did not go to sleep till Monday after work. So then I got into some mental health counseling, and that took a while, but it helped. And there's a difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack. I had a panic attack when I lived in California, and I was on the freeway, and traffic was just too much, and I just had to pull off to the edge of the road and calm my heart. And it was a scary, debilitating feeling. Whereas anxiety just lingers for longer, and it's not quite as you don't think you're going to die over an anxiety attack.
Mm-hmm. Panic attack, you do probably.
Yeah. Hi, country love. How you doing?
Hi, country.
Okay.
I like your name.
I'm gonna go pick my first card. And do you have a subject to read on?
Yeah. Let's do the bird flu one. Did you see that one? The story about the bird
flu. first confirmed death.
Mm-hmm.
H5N2?
N1 or something?
N1.
N2.
We're doing good, other than being hot here in Texas. 91 today and a heat index of 105. So it was my scalp is dewy, I see. I hope I don't blind anybody.
All right, that's hard. Spread by the avian flu. Could it jump from me to you? Need to know in a time of peril if there'll be another outbreak, just like COVID took the cake. Something more disastrous or something less impactful. Either way, please, cards, in the message that you give, be tactful. Okay, so I'm starting Page of Wands is what I got.
Okay, well, I will start us out. So, Page of Wands and Seven of Pentacles. Upright and upright. So we got Rico Suave here schmoozing. So I don't know if that's CDC trying to smooze the press, or if press is trying to, have something sensationalized because they've been directed to obfuscate us. I don't.
Obfuscate.
Yeah. Yeah. Look over here. Misdirection. And then we have our Seven of Pentacles. So it's hard work, to spin those, to spin it the way that they want to. But it's going to stick here for a while because the Seven of Pentacles is a whole growing season long card where you till the soil, you plant the crops, you take care of the weeds, and then in the fall, you do your harvest. So I don't think it's going to be a short-term thing with this pervasive story. So is it going to be our next COVID? No.
Okay.
Upright and upright.
Upright. Okay. Now, I'm in a little bit of a quandary with this card because I'm thinking it's the Page of Wands, but for some reason, the Page of Swords is coming in like some sort of misinformation. And it's a way of distraction. But the other card that you had, the Seven of Pentacles, I think it's a mountain out of a molehill. I don't think that there's anything long term that's going to burgeon from this that we have to worry about. What I do think, though, is there might be more isolated cases as we get closer to the election, as a way to try to. There might be some way to bring it forward that the media might bring forth to. I don't want to say make people panic, but I think the food supply might become a bit of an issue either for this reason alone or in combination or in tandem with the other reasons of inflation and all these other things that are going on. As far as sanitizing food, I also think since with the Page of Swords can be about a swing and a miss. It will be a diversion, as you said. I'm calling this Page of Swords for some reason, and I want to continue to. Because I think not enough learned study has gone into this to really know what the evolution of it's going to be yet. So I don't think it's going to amount to much, but I think it'll be enough of a distraction that it will have some sort of effect as a campaign stumping point for some people, but I don't see it amounting to the next pandemic. I think with the Seven of Pentacles, it's a whole lot of nothing, a mountain out of a molehill.
A Linda G. Nettenberger.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have our bird flu story, we again, the press is pandering to whatever the owners of the news outlet, want how they want to spin the news. And with the Seven of Pentacles reversed, it's easy for the public to buy their distraction. And you, Jeff?
I think that with the page, or with the Seven of Pentacles reversed, it's pretty clear to the people that actually have maybe some sort of foreknowledge from the past as to how this works, that it's not going to amount to anything. But a lot of people that do want it to amount to something to hurt the turnout for the election, because those could be ballots too, in the Pentacles, or they could be, whatever, like would be a vaccine or whatever. There isn't enough
political contributions.
Yeah. I think that this is just a way,
or drug companies, sounding the alarm bells and wanting funding like they got for COVID.
Yeah, and then as I said, using the election as a way to do that. Even with that reversal there, it's bad for business if there isn't a pandemic, because, think about all the money that's been made over the last few years. And then, of course, that's the inspiration. That's what is driving commerce. That's what drives everything. So it's more about, even not so much the election, it's just about money is what I'm getting with that. More than that, more than with resources, it's more about, or votes, it's about money, not about ballots. And what is said in the media, I think, will have a great effect to some degree on where people are going to put their money. In other words, behind which candidate is going to, fund more. But I think the right wing is going to continue to say it's just diversionary. Well, it's a diversionary tactic either way, but they sell it as, your right to freedom is going out the window. So more of that as the red herring.
You're going to be stuck at home. You're not going to be able to have your freedoms.
Like, I think
I live in Texas, so how dare you close down restaurants, and how dare you force me to wear a mask? And
like, I can just see it now.
Well,
like,
welcome, Ramon and Jeffrey. And then when we have the page is news. So when we have the creative one upside down, they're not being creative with this story, other than taking an isolated incident and trying to put the scare tactic into everybody. It's like Zika killed the Olympics in Brazil that one year. And with the Seven of Pentacles upright, it's like we're going to have to do our own due diligence and be smart about things and research. And drug companies want the money for research, and both sides of Congress used insider information to benefit off of the last pandemic, and buy into pharmaceutical companies that were getting the government aid to develop vaccines. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so my take on this is a little different. I'm going to start with the Seven of Pentacles, because I see this as like a farmer tending to his chickens, and somehow he might, pick up the virus, and like wildfire, the media uses like the page of wands. The page of wands stands for the media, and they start running with it, to create havoc that, you've got to really, really, really start becoming like if you're not a vegetarian already, you need to become one. You need to really, really clean your food, even your milk, because I know the milk from farmers isn't homogenized, right? So, or pasteurized, I'm sorry. So then it becomes an issue of the media feeding into that. And, we have prices with inflation already the way they are. And then it catches fire even more with that page of wands card, because it's all built on a lie that it is going to jump from an animal um, to a group of people who, in other words, from the animal, it'll spread to one, and then it will spread to more, and then it will spread to more and more and more. Whereas this guy got sick and died, I think, because he got it in his eye, or he got it, by not cleaning his, you know what I'm saying? So I think
Right.
the whole media component is dangerous with it reversed or with it upright. If it, and it's dangerous with the pentacles reverse, because that's the animal component or the earthly component that would give it to you.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah. So reverse. Any news is bad news, and we're just gonna throw good money into a bad, something that's not going to pan out to be as dangerous as they're making it. The farmer had direct contact with a diseased animal, and we are so divorced from our food sources that we don't have that threat on a daily basis or come in contact with farm workers all that often. At least I don't. I mean, I barely come in contact with anybody often.
Yeah.
In order to reverse.
Reversed. If I see it reversed,
Yeah.
to me, it's not only misinformation, but it's also with the pentacles upright. Not only is it not amounting to anything, but I see slaughtering of animals. And the reason I see that is they're not good for the harvest. They could be potentially dangerous. The scare tactics that could work as far as that goes with the Seven of Pentacles reversed, they're not enough. It has to be of that earthly element that it, is dangerous. But I also see people hoarding potentially canned goods and looking at what they have and maybe not storing enough, not feeling as if they have enough. So they go into lack consciousness and they start hoarding, like, soups or whatever you want to call it. And then with the upright messenger or the reverse messenger, it's sort of instead of it coming from anything from the ground or from the actual source like the animal, it's coming from the media. So I see frenzy as a result of this at maybe the wrong time, which might be the election, with the ballots reversed as well. If it's reversed, that's what I see. I like to hoard. I do too, but I'm not good at it because I eat through everything. If you're talking about food.
Well, and I mean, I've had the same basic grocery order for years. Unless I run out of a staple or cleaning supply or paper product. So, 5 years ago, my every 2 week grocery order was about $70, and now it's nearly $200. 5 years
That's
later,
criminal. That's
for
criminal.
not changing anything or size or quantity. And I do believe they use the supply chain, that the local supply chain wasn't affected. The fear mongering is rampant in this country, and us sheeple, as some people call me, are getting wary of the tactics. When my ramen used to be 9 cents, a little plastic bag, and now it's 31 cents. Three times, a little more than 3 times the amount in 5 years. It's criminal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what goes into ramen. I like ramen too. I like a lot of different types of noodles, rice noodles and whatnot, but um that should be, even if it's not your last resort, that should be something that you can stably count on is not going up in price. And I don't know why that would be affected by any sourcing. I mean, I don't know how much of it's processed, but I don't.
Oh,
I wouldn't think that would.
It's highly processed.
Is it highly processed? I like it for the
It's,
salt.
Yeah. Well, I boil it in all the water, but then I drain most of the water off, and then get the spicy jalapeno chicken.
Is that in the green container?
Yeah.
Is that container?
Well,
Yeah.
I do the cellophane packets. And then the little seasoning packet, I'll use about half of it with it, because it is highly concentrated with processed chicken base and MSG and salt. So yeah, I'm not a very healthy eater to begin with, and all those bad things really appeal to me.
Well, the thing of it is, a lot of it's like what you're around. It's like if you're not around someone that's going to cook meals, or like they don't cook meals for themselves, you're not going to cook meals for yourselves because you don't want to use the stove. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to dirty it, or if you do cook,
or heat up the house at 105.
Right. Or you're doing it like I lived with someone who was very culinary oriented, and I learned to cook very well. So like it was on Christmas Day when I did cook, and like my uncle was like, wow, it was filet mignon. He's like, it was cooked perfectly. I got Braden one from Omaha Steaks. He took one bite and that was the whole steak, and he just ate. I'm like, what the fuck? You just ate the whole thing in one bite. And they were like, well, give it to me. I'm like, whatever.
Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to pick a news story, and it comes from Disneyland in California. Apparently last week, a woman who worked at Club 33, which is the exclusive, the high roller club at Disneyland. There's only like 100 members or something like that. It's very pricey, as Disney can be, but it's like extremely pricey. She worked at Disneyland for 35 years, and she was behind the scenes and she fell off a golf cart and sustained injuries that later she succumbed to. So I know that theme parks are very serious about safety for the rides. I know of a person who was working here at Astroworld, and he stepped across a track from platform to platform while the train was out of the station, and they fired him immediately. So, is safety training or vigilance for other people who are not on the ride detail, is that taken seriously enough? And basically, are you safe at work? Is there's an organization called OSHA from our government that's there for worker safety, but usually they don't come in to do preventative inspections. They usually show up after an accident to levy fines. So there's no
accountability, really.
There's no
like before that
disincentive. Yeah, no accountability for employers. Yeah. So if you want to select a card, I'll mix my deck up and pick.
The tilt a whirl of cups from make you spin in an inferno to hell, but you can't win. All right, let's see. This is Deb Zakow's deck. Deb, I got Temperance. This is the Clarity Tarot.
Temperance. Okay.
I'm just hearing the rides stopping.
I'll be able to find that quickly.
And I don't mean like stopping permanently. I mean like more of them are gonna stop like way up there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How did my deck?
Yeah.
How did my deck get so out of order? Miles, Slim, have you been in here?
Who are you? Has a question.
There he is. Pardon?
Who are you has joined us.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were asking, like,
who are you?
Who am I identifying as today? One of my 49 personalities. Sylvester, Sybil. Okay, so do you want to start, Jeff? We have.
Yeah, so I got Temperance. And I got the King of Cups, obviously, because Thomas got that. I think more than anything, this is the type of arrangement that's like go, 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 go. It's like get as many herds of people on these rides at once as you can do. You can get them on. And it's just the kind of environment where, it's not so above is so below type of mentality. It's like defy. And I had an aunt that liked to ride some of the most dangerous rides there were. She lived in this room, but defy gravity, defy the laws of order, put more people into closed spaces. I'm hearing there's nothing about this that's temperate or representing what's discretion and or dictate or to be the better part of valor. So in other words, I'm just hearing that it's going to continue the way it's continuing, that there aren't safety measures in place for the people that expose themselves with greater probability. It's completely stochastic. It's based on the number of chances that you're going to take, not just getting on the ride, but working around the rides too, not just going in them. So with that and the King of Cups, there's going to be, for some reason, I'm getting on DeSantis with this, and I don't know why. I know in Florida, his war with Disney and all that, but I still see a manipulation of laws to create more economic incentive to kind of roll back safety measures. And I don't know if he's going to be at the helm of some of them in Florida. But that's what I'm seeing when the King of Cups should be, someone who's compassionate and someone who's, sympathetic to it. I'm seeing already just a perversion of it, even with it upright.
So with the King of Cups upright, yeah, that compassion only comes in after the fact. Somebody's been injured, somebody's been hurt, and they come in with compassion, and it's really not balanced with the temperance, because they're trying to save so much on workman's comp insurance that they short shrift the employees. So even if they do get injured, they don't get the quality of care or the amount of care to get them back as near whole as they can be.
Yeah. And that's what you're seeing with that temperance card. Hi, Viviani. Okay, so...
And I've got Who Are You? And Kelsey. I've got you started for questions when we're done.
Okay, so in this instance, I'm hearing throw caution to the wind, but what they're going to be saying is with temperance reverse, since temperance isn't always about balance and safety, what they're going to say is throwing caution to the wind isn't being fearful in any way. What it is basically knowing that what it really means is might is right, money will talk. And I think ultimately they will say things like you're a pussy if you don't come to work, or if there are strikes, of these workers in these amusement parks who probably make little money anyway. What it's going to be seen as is going against the grain. And why would you get into a line of work or put yourself in an environment where you could potentially be endangering yourself anyway? That's on you. Instead of understanding that these measures do need to be put in place to protect people, which is what I would get if the temperance card were upright. But with that pairing of the King of Cups to have that sympathetic part, that sympathetic part means like this is what you should do to protect your workers and not roll back any of these. You should be putting more safety measures in place to prevent them. But there'll be a tug of war over it, is what I'm hearing.
And with the King of Cups upright, he like you said, he's supposed to be compassionate, but his compassion is only looking out for himself or the the shareholders of the company. And so with temperance reversed, I think funds for safety measures and training and things of that nature are withheld because they don't want to affect the bottom line.
And I'm hearing DeSantis could be on like the really sanctimonious end of this too, like to get back at Disney. He could be like, they're the ones that are causing this problem. Just
Well,
heard
this
that.
was Disney California this time.
Oh, that was California. Okay, nothing's happened in Florida yet, though, right?
Yeah, Disneyland.
Okay. So
Reverse King
what
of
I'm
Cups
seeing,
and upright.
Reverse King of Cups basically is a manipulation to make you think that they are doing what they're doing, but when you're looking in the other direction, it's anything but that. Meaning with the Temperance card that way, and then the King of Cups the way it is. People are starting to see that things are out of alignment, but they're still not doing anything about it because they need to walk that fine line between telling or tattletailing on their fellow employees or keeping their jobs. And some of this is coming from the management groups of these companies. So I think it's almost something that cancels each other out. The need is there. They know the need's there. But yet by the same token, too, they also know that they need the revenue, especially in places that, rely on these sorts of theme parks for commerce. And even if it's only some places that have been affected by this to greater degrees, so it doesn't become an issue in other areas, they're going to take measures to convince employees that they're safe when they actually aren't. Or there are deficiencies that they won't point out ahead of time.
So the reverse King of Cups in this case is their compassion and caring is only for the immediate around them, and since the King of Cups represents a CEO or CFO of a company, that fatherly figure, they're not in any danger. They've got cushy office jobs. They may look out the window and survey what's going on. And with Temperance upright, I think that they know that they are off center with their safety financing and training, but they're keeping that money close and not doing the expenditures needed because they they are looking out for that bottom line. And until somebody is injured, we got the cups with the king and we got the cups with temperance, pouring the waters from one cup to another. So that until something happens like this, the emotions start running high. Nothing's going to change, I don't think. Both reversed.
Okay, so pretty easily, the powers that be, whether it's, and this is what they're going to say, and some of these places may be in areas where people, I wouldn't say as a whole, are generally less educated, but the people that are working are going to say again, you can throw caution to the wind. God will protect you. God will be used as a vehicle, and he wouldn't want you to sacrifice your free will not to do something, because so as above, so below. The protection is there, and it's a perversion of the whole discretion is the better part of valor with the temperance card upright. So the real thing is, even before the choice is made about free will to go on these rides or to work around these rides or do anything with these rides, even if they get stuck and the people that work there get stuck or whatever, they're going to make it look good. I get with the King of Cups, they're going to be able to tell a story when these inspections are done that things are on the up and up. But in reality, it's what do you call it? A pencil whip to make something look good, but it really isn't. And you don't hear much about these, probably because they're going
The
on.
second set of books.
Yeah, or cooking the books or whatever you want to call it. So it's not even worth it. It's not even worth the time, because if people feel that they are stuck in a job and they can't get out of it, they're going to take the words of the people who are supposed to be, in their mind, responsible for them, when in reality, that's not how things work. And unfortunately, there's no self-responsibility with the King of Cups reversed. Only a perversion of that. Well, a perversion of what self-responsibility means to someone who wants to make money. So, not with any sort of understanding of morality or guilt or anything like that.
And then with both of them reversed, I think it's just smoke and mirrors and lip service, saying that we've got all safety measures in place, and they do try to confuse or block the employees from getting necessary help. Cosmic Orphan, Hershey moved, living with me. She's sort of my de facto caregiver. She found out that it's a lot harder job than it needs to be, but she seems to be happy, other than with the weather. She is not tolerating the heat very well, but she seems to like it. It's been a little over a couple months, and she hasn't killed me yet. So, who are you? Are you available? Are you still here? Who are you? She's she's not really my caregiver, but she does she does help me a whole lot. There were a lot of physical things that needed to be taken care of around the apartment that Hershey had to get down dirty with, and clean and take care of, and it was a process. So, who are you bailed on us? So that's going to leave Kelsey. Kelsey says, may I ask a question for a reading? Kelsey, go ahead and type your question. Who are you had a third-party reading about somebody who is not here and didn't give their permission to read on, but Jeff and I don't have those limitations all the time.
We don't.
And we will be unscrupulous and because it's sort of like these political readings, they didn't give us permission, but they put themselves out in public, and so a lot of the privacy that's expected when you're in the public eye, you're under close scrutiny by a lot of people, and everybody's got an opinion, just like everybody's got a rear end. May I know what are Sven's thoughts and feelings towards me? Okay, Kelsey, the same kind of thing. Love readings.
I heard the word Neanderthal.
Love is in the air.
Immediately, Kelsey, when you asked that question. Maybe it's the way the question's phrased, but I get the sense that either this person is a manipulator or you're looking for him to be something that he's not, or that he doesn't. I wouldn't say he doesn't want something with you, but there's something that you've put him on a pedestal about. And I think what's weighing on him right now is that what he's thinking about you is that you expect too much of him, either too soon or too quickly. It's not about feelings being returned or not returned, but you're projecting onto him what you expect of him. And try not to do that if you want something more to happen. And I'll explain why, because I got the Hierophant reversed. And to me, in a reading about someone that it's about leadership gone awry or perverted. That's my favorite word tonight. A perversion or whatever. And then right next to it, you get the Strength card. But this to me means someone needs taming. Someone wants the light to be shining on them in this relationship. And I'm thinking that there's a struggle between an ideal that you want to be met and a struggle for power. And so a decision has to be made by one of you. Definitely not in denial about what you think of each other. I'm not saying that. In fact, with this card, you're definitely not in denial about anything. But what I would ask is that you seriously consider your choice with the blinders. Don't go into it with the blinders on that either of you can change each other, is what I'm hearing, because you can't. And he's not expecting that of you.
And Kelsey, so for long-term commitments, I wouldn't say it's going to be a good thing. I would say he's gone non-contact because of financial reasons. So maybe he got all that he could out of you, or you wised up to his game, because you're not making plans together to build your house. Taking your plans to the architect for him to build the house and the home. I think there may have been some narcissistic behaviors going on because we have our Seven of Pentacles reversed. He didn't want to invest the work that it was going to take to have a relationship with you. And he just he was looking for an easy way. So that's easy way out. So that's what I got for you. And I'm sorry that's the situation is going on, if you have feelings for him still, it's those relationships are very personal and tricky and difficult, and the ones that last are very few and far between these days.
They're just
well, Kelsey, if you're
universities.
if you're university students, there's an app called Plenty of Fish. They're definitely more opportunities. First of all, is to get your degree or whatever you're studying for and take care of that. But the way the economics are set up now, it takes two income to buy into the American dream, which is sorely unattainable for a lot of people in this country right now.
Kelsey, are you from this country? I got the energy you weren't for some reason.
And Jeff, when you said Neanderthal, I saw my brow. You see how this big deep eye socket is? I'm probably 17% Neanderthal. We're not quite extinct yet. Anybody else have a question that they'd like us to answer? Jeff, do you have a question you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Cannot.
It was about YouTube.
If it's about tags, I'm clueless.
Is YouTube going to become less popular or more popular in the next 5 years? Just all around.
Okay, I'll pull cards on it. I have opinions. Oh, look at that. Did I not cut the deck right back to where it was?
Yeah, sorry about that, Kelsey. We know there's a lag, that our voices are out of sync, or our mouths are out of sync with our voices. I'm sorry you're going through that. That's a bad thing to go through, Kelsey.
We're in a Godzilla Martha movie. Okay, I got the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups. So the question again was, YouTube going to be more or less popular? Well, there's definitely, with the cups, there's a love of the platform. So with the Page and Knight of Cups, it's the progression. So I think they're going to double down and try to make it as the platform as popular as possible. Although there are going to be other attempts to duplicate it on other new platforms being developed. I think that right now the monetization is what's going to weed those other companies out very quickly. I think since YouTube has been there for the long haul, they're getting their systems pretty well set in, and there's money to be made, not for us small creators, but the people with the technology know-how and the chutzpah and investing their 10 and 12-hour days into making content and understanding the different consumers of YouTube, with the fast editing. When I went to see the movie Moulin Rouge several years ago, the cutting and the editing was so fast in the first 15 minutes that it's just like, it gave me a headache. It made my head spin. And more than a quarter of the audience got up and left the theater because they couldn't take all the visual stimulation that they were getting. And, they couldn't follow it. That's us mature people. Now the young people with their screens and they've grown up with it, they're able to take more of that fast interaction. So I think YouTube is here to stay, but they'll have some challengers, but they won't gain traction or lessen YouTube's ability to have the audience that they got.
I'm thinking
You're welcome.
maybe not. The reason I'm thinking that there could be an opportunity for growth if you read the third card the way that you want to read it. I got the Emperor reversed. I got the Seven of Swords, and I got the Ace of Wands. So to me, it seems like its time may have passed for it to be considered what it once was. However, I feel as if something might be coming along with the Seven of Swords to steal its thunder, but also with promises that maybe the platform can't keep up with because, as you said, it doesn't have the revenue stream promise that it still even has for good creators. But with the Ace of Wands coming in, the opportunity might be there to for either an upstart or upstart, such a pathway word now. I would probably say for YouTube itself to open itself up to something differently, or for some other site to come along and steal its thunder. Let me just draw another card just to clarify it. Ten of Wands reversed. I'm actually getting that I think the whole thing might be done. That YouTube may be on the way out, because with the Ten of Wands reversed, it's like a face plant upside down. Like Lori from The Way of Positive Change calls it a face plant. Or wait, that's Ten of Swords actually. But in this case, I just feel like it could go either way. If something does come along, I think it will be displaced, because I think something might be coming that might even be better. As I say that on a channel.
Well, the super content creators, I think the time for the Mr. Beasts and the multi-million-dollar channels
is that gone?
Is gone.
Okay, that I
would say, the ones who have it sewn up, it's sewn up. But I think, like where they're pushing shorts and smaller content for the just to keep people on the platform. The younger people don't seem to be using content that's long form, It's very short attention spans, and swipe and swipe and swipe. And dopamine hit, dopamine hit. It's the dumbing down of the human mind. But if YouTube goes away, I've invested my whole retirement into this. So what am I going to do if it goes away? I'm too old to learn something.
No.
Well, unless if they have long form content. I mean, I can generate shorts, but they're not going to be catchy like the aliens in my stream telling jokes. Like, why have you never seen a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Why?
Because the pee is silent. And that it's sort of like idiocracy. I'm going to junior high humor level and kindergarten intelligence level. I'm losing IQ points the longer I swipe on shorts and get those three aliens dodging from the construction people. So Jeff, I know I'm keeping you up. You're East Coast, and I know you got work in the morning. What's coming up for you?
Probably some things in the morning, and I am developing with someone hopefully a show that will be coming to you very soon. Also, I want to get my talking book, my audio book of my second poetry book done for mass consumption within the next, I want to say 6 weeks. So that's
are you doing the audio yourself?
I looked into that, and I thought about it, and it would have been cheaper, but I found out about it too late. So I actually, and believe me, I tried to use. There are things like Fiverr and Upwork, and that I've used before to find artists. No one wanted to read my book aloud on like Fiverr, Upwork, so I ended up having to pay more, I think, to have it narrated and put together by one of these faux. Shouldn't even say that about a publisher, but I've been burned by them on so many occasions that I'm just like, whatever. One of these online publishing houses. So depending upon, I know which one I've gone with, but for the next book, I don't know if I want to use the same publisher I used last time, because there were typos and there were errors of my own making in there, but they didn't need to be exacerbated by their errors, which were worse and more egregiously obvious, I think. So, and just syntax errors. There were like
so it was like I edited.
Yeah, and I'm not good. Like, I don't like to read my stuff over and over and over again, because a piece of work is never done, they say. It's like a painting. It's never done. It's never fully realized. It's always in flux. But the first book, I had the problem with it when I didn't have an editor. But the second time around, everything was written as someone was dying around me. So it just came out the way it came out, mostly because of that. And then I wanted to get it out because it was so raw so quickly. So I didn't really have the desire to rescind anything I had written or change or alter it. I wanted it to stay in the form it was. And then when I got it back, there were more errors in how they were, set up. Then they changed what were stanzas. I'm like, no, you need to leave this alone. You need to leave. But it wasn't right the way you had it. I go, but I wanted it left alone. And then so they went back and left it alone. And then they made other changes based on, thinking that a comma would have to be here or a period would have to be here if the line ended here. And it was a nightmare. So that's why I think punctuation and whatever are important, but they're such killjoys. Sticklers for grammar are such killjoys.
Well, there is a need for proper punctuation because are you going to eat, Grandma? Is different than are you going to eat, Grandma?
Or where you put a modifier, or where you're dangling modifiers, So.
Well, thank you all for being with us. And
Yes.
Jeff will be back with me on Sunday, and we're doing the Ace of Pentacles. Sorry for this last
coming tonight. We had quite a turnout this week here.
Yeah. So we will see you, and I've got some new shorts coming out based on these tarot pairs, but they're short and sweet. It's just like the raw essence of the two cards together in the 4 permutations. And with that, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and go out and make it a great night. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.